Good morning, my all students. Welcome back to your online class, and this is your revision class, as you know. And previous day we have learned the body movements, and we have already revised the chapter fully.
What
And
is the
today
syllabus, ma'am?
I will revise the next chapter that is already in your term 2 syllabus, that is motion and measurement of distance. Okay. First of all, have you any idea about motion and rest? Have you any idea about this? Abhi, please mute your microphone. So, a body is said to be in rest when it does not change its position with respect to time. That body should be in rest. But when with respect to time body changes its position, then the object is in motion. We can say that object is in motion. So that is the basic difference between rest and motion. Okay, got this point everyone? Got this point. Okay, now first we comes to the story of transport, means how the means of transport in the ancient times, how the peoples use these different modes of transport. Okay, ever since in the ancient time humans have devised different means of transport to have means to travel from one place to another place, but they design boats that resemble the shape of animals living in the water to travel across the water bodies. But due to invention of two major things that created a change a lot in their lifestyle, means first was the invention of wheel. So invention of wheel that led to the invention of bullock carts, also the carts which are driven by animals, you know. Okay, then during the beginning of 19th century human designed steam engine. Then from steam engine so many things were just invented, just like automobiles, then motorized vehicles. Okay, yes, your syllabus is already in your e-portal. Please check your e-portal, Abir Ghosh. Yes, Aruni. Now comes to the point that what is actually length and what is distance. First of all, length is measured in terms of unit. Now, what is a unit? A unit is a comparison of an unknown quantity with the known quantity. Okay, so it is mainly required to establish the common standard in order to make the calculation and analysis more easier. So it will help our work in a easiest way. Okay, so what is distance? Distance is the measure how far or long something is, that is called distance. As you know, a length of a table, then distance from Kolkata to Mumbai, Mumbai to Delhi, these all are actually measured as distance. Okay, in kilometer or meter. Okay, so you have learned this thing all, and this is your division class, so I will discuss the main things which must be just used by you all. Now, as you know, there are mainly two types of measurement. One is standard measurement, another is non-standard. Now, what is the difference between standard and non-standard measurement? I have already told you. Means in non-standard measures, the calculation or the result is not reliable. As you know, those measure which is actually measured by our fingers, then footstep or hands, so these are called as non-standard measure. But the standard measurement are those measurement which gives always reliable result. Okay, so by using a scale, meter scale, we can easily calculate the length of a table, length of a pen. Okay, so these all are standard measure. Okay, now in 1790s the French created the standard unit of measurement that is called metric system. That is in your book, page number 99, you can see. And for the sake of uniformity, the scientists all over the world have accepted a set of standard unit of measurement, and the systems of units now used as SI unit or International System of Units. Okay, so what is the SI unit of length? Can anyone say? Can anyone write in your chat box? What is the SI unit of length? Very good, Shanchita. Meter. Meter. Okay. Yes, Abir. Aruni. Thank you, Ognibo. Thank you everyone who have answered. Mehtab, Salma, Dhriti. Okay. Now we comes to correct measurement of length. Means how we should correct the measurement of length. What are the main things we should keep in our mind and what are the correct way of measurement. You must see the page number 100. There are 3 points. We need to take care of the following while measurement. First is place the scale in contact with the object. Okay, place the scale in contact with the object, and second, along its length as shown in figure 10.7. You can see the first figure. Second, in some scale ends may be broken. You may not able to see the zero mark clearly. So in that case, what should you do? In such case, you should avoid taking measurement from the zero mark of the scale. So you can use any other full mark of the scale, say 1 centimeter. Okay. Now then you must subtract the reading of this mark from the reading at the other end, means the last point where you have measured. Okay. Just for example, the reading of one end is 1 centimeter and the reading of the other end, that is the last point, is 14.3 centimeter. Then you must measure the length by subtracting that 1 centimeter from the last point, means 14.3 minus 1 centimeter, so we get 13.3 centimeter. So that is the measurement, or that is the length of that object. We have get this. So we must go through this point and we must observe this carefully. And the last point, that is our positioning of eye. So correct position of eye is very, very essential for measurement. Means you can see that, you can see from your book page number 101, figure 10.9, there are 3 position of eye while taking reading of the scale. You can see A and C position, that is away from the point, okay, away from the point where the measurement must be taken, but the B point, that is exactly in front of the point where the measurement must be taken. So the B is the correct point of measurement. Okay, so here the angle should be 90 degree, you can see. So B is the correct position of eye, but A and C are incorrect position. Got this point everyone? Any problem up to this portion? Any problem? Okay, thank you. Now comes to measurement of length of a curved line. Now as you know, we cannot measure the curved line, we cannot measure a curved line by using a meter scale. But how can we measure such curved line? We must measure such curved line by means of using a thread. Okay, so by using a thread we can easily measure the distance of curved line. Okay, I hope you understood. Now the last topic, last subtopic of this chapter, that is the motion and different types of motion. As you know, there are different kinds of motion in your book. First one is rectilinear, then circular, then rotational motion, and the last one is periodic motion. Now, so I will just describe each of the motion, each of the following motion. That is first one is straight line motion, that is when an object is in a straight path, the motion of that object is called rectilinear motion. So when the object change their position with time along with a straight line, that is known as rectilinear motion. Okay, so first example of this march past of soldier during Republic Day or Independence Day. So such they are actually moving in a straight line, so their motion must be called as rectilinear motion. And another example you can see from page number 103, their car racing in a single in a straight path. Okay, so these all are example of rectilinear motion. Second motion type, that is known as circular motion, means when an object moves in a circular path, then with respect to time, then the motion that is covered by that object, that is known as circular motion. So example is the motion of point marked on the blade of an electric fan, then hands of clock. These all are example of circular motion. Understood? Now comes to rotational motion. Now what is rotational motion? Have you ever seen spinning top? Have you ever seen spinning top? Lattu, have you seen that, students? Yes, actually this lattu or top that moves in its own axis. So such type of motion is known as rotational motion. Also earth rotates in its about its own axis. So when an object or the whole body moves about an axis, that is known as rotational motion. So we have, yes, very good Sanchita. So this is the example of rotational motion. Now the last type of motion from your book, that is known as rectilinear, not periodic motion. Periodic motion, and what is this periodic motion? Means an object that repeats its motion after some time, means that is occurring in a interval, okay, time to time. So such type of motion is known as periodic motion. There are so many examples, just like oscillation of pendulum. Then you can easily see the figure 10.14, that is a bunch of tree moving to and fro. Then motion of child on a swing, then string of guitar, or the membrane of drums, tabla being played. So these all are the examples of periodic motions. Understood? Got this point, everyone? Any problem? You can ask me in this chapter, any problem? So we have finished the revision class of this chapter, motion and measurement of distance. In the next day I will revise the next chapter. If it will not be the online class, then please go through the offline class. It will be uploaded on tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So please check your e-portal regularly. This is my request to all of you, and go through the syllabus, term to syllabus thoroughly. And if you have any problem, again I am telling, you can ask me in the e-portal. Also during your online class you can say, yes Salma, what is rectilinear motion? You cannot understand? Okay, means rectilinear means the straight line. Okay, means when any object that is in a straight line and the actually a distance is covered by that object or anything in a straight line. Okay, so we can say when the object change their position with respect to time in a straight line, then that type of motion is known as rectilinear motion. Okay, they are going in a straight line. Okay, so such type of motion is known as rectilinear motion. Got this point, Salma? Okay, thank you.